Hello again. Today I'll be doing a review of the Gallery Artist Soft Oil Pastels by Mungyo. I have here the 36 set of soft oil pastels. As you open up the box, you'll quickly notice these are very bright colors. Very intense. There is a little write-up on the inside of the box indicating they are professional quality with outstanding smooth touch and consistent colors. The intense colors and high covering power are ideal for techniques such as impasto and scraping. Smoothness and low residue allow neat and accurate works, and then it lists off all of the colors. It also mentions they are Art and Creative Materials Institute certified. If we look at the pastels, they come with some reading material, and on the back it lists all 72 available colors. Of course, we know I'm only using 36 of them. The colors start with white, pale yellow, lemon yellow, yellow, golden yellow, which happens to have the label on backwards, orange, flame red, vermilion, scarlet, carmine, purple, violet, periwinkle blue, mauve, light purple violet, pink, salmon, ochre, raw umber, brown, russet, olive, moss green, light green, malachite green, emerald green, grass green, yellow green, jade green, that's quite a few greens, turquoise blue, cobalt blue, ultramarine blue, sapphire blue, gray, dark gray, and black. Since I'm always interested in portrait colors, I see that I could probably use the salmon for skin tones, the ochre as well. For darker skin tones, you have raw umber and brown, maybe the russet. These colors look like they would also do well for hair colors. The pastels are made in Korea. Each one is labeled with a color, a numeric indicator, and they also come with a barcode. Up to now, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing. I should mention I got these at the local art store on a Boxing Day sale. It worked out to about $20 Canadian for the set of 36. Normally they run about $25. And it's disclaimer time. I think the last time I've used pastels was when I was 7. So don't really expect any miracles today. I'm going to start by just doing a few blending exercises, and this will also act as a bit of a color chart for me. For the first color disc, I'm trying to blend colors that I might use in a sunset. A bit of yellow, some orange, vermilion, and violet. I blend those together and they blend quite nicely. I lighten up one end of the disc with the pale yellow, darken the other with black, and add a bit of purple to the middle to even things out. Now I move on to my second color disc. For this one, I've started with white, then turquoise blue, followed by cobalt blue, ultramarine blue, and finally sapphire blue. I blend these together, add a little more pastel to try and fill in the tooth of the paper. The paper I'm using is just some scrap paper I've got lying around. Again, the colors blend very nicely. I'm using my fingers, and you need to remember to clean your finger off. So I'm using a piece of paper towel for that. I finish up with darkening one end of the disc with black and adding a little more white to the other end to brighten it. Today I'll be drawing a sunset on the river. I really have no clue what I'm doing. Basically just trying to do something and have fun while doing it. I've sped the video up considerably, but it is still quite long, and I really don't have much to say. Instead, I will have some relaxing music playing in the background. At the end, I will discuss the pastels a little bit more. I'm just finishing up the drawing. I enjoyed working with these pastels. Being the first pastels I've used, it's hard for me to compare them with anything else. What I can say is they're a pleasure to blend. The colors are very bright and intense. Being soft oil pastels, I really struggled to get any sort of detail in the drawing. I did some research beforehand, and the experts directed me towards purchasing high-end Talens Rembrandt pastels and supplementing them with Faber-Castell Pitt pastel pencils. But for someone like me who's on a budget and they haven't used pastels before, they just want to play around a little bit, spending $250 on pastels and pencils is a little bit unreasonable. What I did learn was a few pastel pencils might come in handy. You may have noticed I did pull out a Prismacolor Premier colored pencil and colorless blender to try and etch in some details or fill in the tooth on some small sections. This worked, but wasn't really ideal. How do I feel about the drawing? For my first attempt to use pastels, I'm pretty happy. I'm not a landscape artist, I prefer portraits or animals, so I think this went well. I figured trying to do a portrait using pastels for the first time would have been a disaster. But with a little more practice, I might have a try at it. I love how easy it is to work with these. The drawing took about 2 hours, and a good portion of that time was trying to decide on which colors to use. Compare that to 15 plus hours I spend on the average colored pencil drawing. Now, in all fairness, if I look at the 9 by 12 inch drawing from 2 feet distance, it looks pretty bad. If I back up to about 6 feet, it's not too bad. I like the sky, the hills in the background. I'm not fond of the boats. They look a little too cartoonish, and I wish I could have spent more time adding some details to the water. I still have some more Christmas presents to review, but my next focus is going to be creating a drawing for the Derwent Art Prize. I need to have it done before May, and I would like to get in a little bit of practice beforehand. Hopefully I will have something else in the next 2 weeks. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.